industries. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our honor to have amongst us Shri P.K. Sinha, Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri R.N. Choubey, Special Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri Satish Kumar, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri Simon Petrie from British High Commission. We are also delighted, and Shri Somnath Bhattacharjee, Director, Institute for Industrial Productivity. We extend a very hearty welcome to Shri Sinha, Shri Choubey, Shri Kumar, Shri Petrie, Dr. Ajay Mathur and Shri Bhattacharjee. May I now request our dignitaries, Shri P.K. Sinha, Shri R.N. Choubey, Dr. Ajay Mathur and Shri Somnath Bhattacharjee to kindly come up on the dais and take their respective seats. Thank you. Thank you, dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, lighting of the lamp, which is symbolic of dispelling darkness and bringing in light in our pursuit of knowledge, is always the first step in our quest for excellence. Now, I would request our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Sinha, to kindly honor us by lighting the symbolic lamp. I would also request all the dignitaries on the dais to join him. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to extend our heartiest and personal welcome, may I request Director General BEE, Dr. Ajay Mathur, to present a bouquet to our chief guest, Shri P.K. Sinha. I request Shri Somnath Bhattacharjee, Director IIP, to present a bouquet and welcome Shri R.N. Choubey. Shri P.K. Sinha, Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri R.N. Choubey, Special Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri Satish Kumar, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, Shri Simon Petrie from British High Commission, Dr. Ajay Mathur, Director General BEE, Shri Somnath Bhattacharjee, Director IIP, invitees from industries and other government departments, distinguished delegates, members of the media, guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to each one of you present here today. And now I request Dr. Ajay Mathur to deliver his welcome address and give us an overview of the workshop. Thank you.
Shri Sinha, Shri Choubey, my colleague Somnath Bhattacharjee, friends from industry, from experts from various organizations, and all those who are present here. It's a pleasure to welcome you all here at the launch of this knowledge exchange platform. As we come towards the end of the first cycle of the Perform, Achieve and Trade program, it is clear that a number of very interesting innovations have been carried out across each sector and within each sector. It therefore made sense to us to see how this information could be provided to all. Also, as we move towards the next cycle, we are working with each of you through sectoral groups to examine what should be the kinds of methodologies that are used for establishing targets, for setting up the monitoring and verification procedures, in general, the design and implementation of the PAT2 cycle. Last October, under the leadership of Secretary Par, a delegation had visited the United Kingdom And amongst other meetings, we met with the emissions trading group, which was a group of companies and experts who are associated with the companies who are in a program similar to the PAC, the Climate Change Agreements Program, are part of the regulated industries for energy efficiency in the UK. And it was very interesting to see the way the emissions trading group was, again, on the one hand being a knowledge exchange platform, and also on the other hand being an agency where a lot of policy coordination and harmonization was also occurring. It was then that this idea of creating a similar group occurred, and we are very grateful to the British High Commission for enabling and supporting the initiation of activities under this knowledge exchange platform. And we do hope that this knowledge exchange platform would, through this collaboration, gain from the experiences of the emissions trading group in the UK. It is also a pleasure for us in the Bureau to work with the Institute of Industrial Productivity in the establishment of this program. The Institute of Industrial Productivity in India and in other countries of the world is a NGO, I don't need to tell you, you know this better than I do, is an organization that promotes energy efficiency and in fact resource productivity across various sectors. So we're very pleased that we have this opportunity to work with them on this issue. The goal of the platform is fourfold. The first is to enable the exchange of best practices and technology adoption experiences within sectors. And we have seen that particular sectors have done extremely well. It is quite possible that in a month or so when PACT ends, we may find that the cement and fertilizer sectors in India may be the most energy efficient cement and fertilizer sectors anywhere in the world. If it does happen so, I think it would be a great achievement. The second is there are many things that can be exchanged across sectors. Back pressure turbines, how you do heat energy management, and therefore what we are looking at is to also enable a cross pollination of activities in one sector into other sectors. The third, of course, is to enable, as I said, the international linkages. What are the kinds of cutting-edge technologies, the kinds of practices that are occurring in other countries of the world, and how do we bring them into the country? And the fourth, of course, is on a dialogue on policy issues. What we hope is that these set of activities, together with, I hope, an extremely ambitious, active outreach program, and I find the word outreach limiting because it has to be a two-way affair. We hope that these would help us move ahead and accelerate the rate at which energy savings is occurring in the energy-intensive Indian industries. At this launch, I again welcome all of you, and more importantly, I hope that this would lead to a stimulating environment in which we will meet again and discuss the kinds of opportunities that exist and the kinds of experiences that we've already had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mathur, for the warm welcome and for giving us a comprehensive overview of the knowledge exchange platform. Thank you. Well, on the occasion of this launch event, an action plan detailing the roadmap for implementation of KEP and the inaugural issue of KEP newsletter covering the best practices from the industries also being released. May I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri P.K. Sinha and Shri R.N. Choubey to honor us by releasing these documents. May I also request Dr. Mathur and Shri Bhattacharjee to join them. Well, the copies of the action plan and the newsletter will be distributed to all the participants during the tea break. Before I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri P.K. Sinha, to deliver his inaugural address and give us the benefit of his advice and guidance, a few words about him. Well, Shri Sinha is a 1977 batch IAS officer of UP cadre. During his long stint in the IAS, he has served with distinction in various capacities, both in the state government of UP as well as at the centre. He has served for about 20 years in central government, mainly in energy and infrastructure sectors such as Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Ministry of Power and Ministry of Shipping. He was also a visiting fellow at the University of Oxford, UK, during 1999 as part of the fellowship program at Queen Elizabeth House, University of Oxford. May I now request Shri P.K. Sinha, our Honourable Chief Guest, to kindly deliver his inaugural address.
Colleagues on the dais, various representatives from the industry and other organizations, ladies and gentlemen. Energy conservation and energy efficiency are the fastest and the cheapest way of making more energy available to the country and to the people. And therefore, the government has been laying a lot of emphasis on energy conservation and energy efficiency. In the recent past, I think we have been trying through the team of Dr. Mathur and other organizations to give a renewed focus to the objective of energy conservation and energy efficiency. A lot of initiatives have been taken. We have launched many programs, whether it relates to standards and labeling or promoting the manufacture of energy efficient equipment or promoting installation of LED bulbs in a big way. But the flagship program really is, for which we are meeting today, the Perform, Achieve and Trade, better known as PAT. Because the energy usage and the scope for energy saving is perhaps the maximum in the industrial sector. We are at a very crucial stage, I would say, under this program, when the first cycle is getting completed, and we are at a stage when we have to review the progress, the achievements made during the first cycle, and also set targets for the next cycle, not only for these industries, but also identify new sectors, new industries, so that we can take our objective forward. This knowledge exchange platform, which is being launched today, I think is an extremely important initiative, and I must congratulate Dr. Mathur and the entire team and all those who are involved in this, with this initiative, for having thought of this and for launching it today. During the course of the implementation of the program, various initiatives, whether management interventions or technical and technological interventions that might have been taken by the different segments of industry, must be shared, and must be shared in a big way with all the industries in that segment in the country, so that people learn from the experience of those who have actually done it. Not only this, I would even go to the extent of saying that this platform should be used to also collect and share the best international practices, not just the practices of those industries which have followed it here and made some interventions. But one of the important tasks should be to collect the international best practices from various organizations. I don't need to mentioned. There are several countries who are extremely advanced in this area. We must collect the global best practices and put them on this platform so that people can, even those who have already undertaken this program, can look forward and see what more can be done. So this knowledge exchange platform, and not just through a website, probably you must be thinking of a website, a portal where you will be sharing all this information. But apart from that, I think there have to be frequent workshops where there should be presentations on some of the best case studies which you will have to identify, so that the other people from the industry are able to look at it and adopt them. When I was going through the exhibition outside, I noticed that some of the interventions were fairly simple, but had led to beautiful results. For example, one person told me that they just changed the conductor of the transmission line from one location to another for carrying electricity to their plant, industrial plant, and that itself saved 27% of energy. So there can be very simple solutions, but there can be also difficult technological solutions for which we have to strive. So I would say that this knowledge exchange platform which is being created, which is being launched, should be used to its fullest, not only in terms of sharing the best practices here, but also in terms of collecting and compiling and disseminating the best practices from all over the world. Now that we are also going to launch the second cycle of the PAT program, I would say that we should not only increase the coverage by including more sectors and more industrial segments, but also try and see whether we can give ourselves even stiffer targets. Then this was just the beginning. The first cycle was just the beginning. And in the second cycle, we must try to give ourselves stiffer targets. And by the end of the second cycle, we must, it should be our objective to achieve the global best practice, to achieve the level of the global best practice in all the industrial segments that we are targeting. I think with these words, I would congratulate Dr. Mathur and his team for launching this platform, and I hope and I'm sure that this will be used to the fullest, and this will be spread all over the country to all those who are involved in these industrial segments. And I wish to also congratulate all those who are participating in this initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Shri R.N. Choubey, Dr. Ajay Mathur, industry partners and ladies and gentlemen. When I start by saying today that it is my privilege to offer a vote of thanks, believe me, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because today is a very, very important day for us. It is not only the launch of our dream project, which we have been cooking over slow fire for close to a year now, but also the launch of an initiative which we strongly feel holds the promise of catalyzing transformational impact in the industrial energy efficiency space, provided we play it right and provided we work as a team and in tandem. To begin with, I would like to thank Shri P.K. Sinha for being able to be with us today and share his thoughts with us. Thank you, sir, for your support and reposing faith on the concept of knowledge exchange platform. We are also very grateful to Shri R.N. Choubey for his presence, which will act as a source of encouragement for all of us present here. Now, talking of Dr. Mathur, we all look up to him for guidance, and I think with him as DG of BE, there could not be a more opportune moment to kickstart an initiative like KEP. Thank you, Dr. Mathur, for all your advice so far, but let me alert you that we will keep bothering you on a fairly regular frequency as we dive deeper into this project. Talking of Dr. Mathur and his team at BE, I'll be falling short of my duties if I do not acknowledge the support that we received from Secretary BE and the regular guidance that we have received from someone who is a household name as far as PAT sectors are concerned. Yeah, I'm referring to Mr. K.K. Chakravarti. Thank you, Mr. Chakravarti. This whole initiative has been designed and is meant for the industry, PAT sectors to begin with, but we hope to enlarge the scope as we move along. And it is so heartening to see the industry response. I was told that we have close to 450 confirmed participation, many of whom are traveling from outside Delhi, so they will probably come after the first technical session maybe. And it is so encouraging to see this kind of response from the industry. I thank you all for coming here in large numbers, which also reminds me of the kind of response of interest that energy efficiency used to generate some time back. I'm not going too far back, early 90s, 1991 to be specific, and I was tasked with this assignment of carrying out 18 subsidized energy audit under a Department of Power scheme. At that time it was DOP. That scheme was basically meant to popularize energy audit in industry, and it turned out to be a nightmare, to find industries willing for energy audit even though it was subsidized. So out of 18 energy audits, I remember close to 10 we did almost free of cost, actually free of cost, literally pleading with our industry partner. Fortunately and thankfully, we have come a long, long way since then, both in terms of the energy efficiency performance of the Indian industry, when you look at specific energy consumption and how it has progressively reduced across all sectors, but I think more importantly also in our attitude and in our approach to energy management. There is a growing realization about the benefits of energy efficiency. There is also this realization about the host of co-benefits or multiple benefits that energy efficiency brings along with it. So while we look back, although we have reasons to feel fairly satisfied, most of us here know we still have a long, long way to go. And I would like to utilize this forum to make an appeal to all the industry people here. With BE's support, let me assure you that IIP will play the role of a perfect catalyst. We will be there where we are needed, and more importantly, in the right doses. But as you all know, for a catalyst to be effective, the reaction conditions need to be favorable. I'm not talking of pressure, temperature, of pH. The favorable reaction conditions here and the right environment can only come through proactive participation from the industry. My request to you is that please consider this as your own project. Keep us on our toes and try to get as much benefit as you can from this platform. And let's all move towards a more efficient, more cleaner industry sector. To pull off a project like this, one obviously needs resources, and in our effort to leverage resources, we found support in British High Commission. Simon is here with us from British High Commission, and I'd like to profusely thank British High Commission for the support extended to us, which has really strengthened our hands. And lastly, I would like to thank DRDO for allowing us to use this fantastic facility, and I hope that we will continue to receive DRDO's patronage in times to come. Thank you all. Enjoy today's proceedings. Have a good day. And together, let's strive to make KEP a big success story. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Bhattacharya. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciation of the Honorable Chief Guest and Special Secretary, Ministry of Power, for sparing their time and for honoring us with their presence and guidance. We would like to present them with a small memento as a gesture of goodwill. May I request Dr. Ajay Mathur to present the memento to our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri P.K. Sinha. May I now request Shri Bhattacharya to present the memento to Special Secretary, Shri R.N. Choubey. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude our inaugural session. May I request all of you to kindly join us for tea. The tea has been arranged outside the main auditorium. We will reconvene at 11 a.m. in this auditorium for our first technical session. Please join us for tea. Thank you. The session, Shri Kumar is an Indian Revenue Service Officer of 1992 batch. He is an electrical engineer from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and Masters in Public Policy from National Graduate Institute of Policy, Tokyo, Japan. Shri Kumar has worked in various capacities in Income Tax Department, Ministry of Power, and Bureau of Energy Efficiency. He was Secretary EE during 2007 and 2010. He proceeded on a UN deputation to Bangkok for the last 2 years and was handling environmental issues in Asia Pacific region. Shri Kumar has been appointed as the Managing Director, Energy Efficiency Services Limited by the Ministry of Power, and he took over as Managing Director of EESL on 6th March 2013. We are very honored to have you as our session chairman. Now to extend a warm welcome to him. We would present him with a bouquet. May I request our presenters of this session kindly join us on the dais.